you when I meet face to face, yeah, don't be late. I'm just talking on the phone, yeah, I'm not gonna wait. When you gotta tell me, you better locate. If it's taking up my time, then you beep beep. Yeah, I'm trying to come through. Beep beep. Yeah, I'm bringing something new. Beep beep. Yeah, I'm trying to come through. Beep beep. Yeah, I'm bringing something new. There's no limit, I'm trying to feel it. Every time I see you, well, I'm gonna break through it. Get the juice, be happy and do it. No one can stop it. If they want it, they can try it. Next gen transcend, women and men. Bring a noise, make it count, yeah, do it again. Never stop, never give up, and don't pretend. Tell a friend all the rules you're gonna bend. I tried to tell you all what will happen to you. I tried to make you see I was telling the truth. I was trying to be everything you want me to be. I can't please everyone, I'ma let it be. Beep beep. Yeah, I'm trying to come through. Beep beep. Yeah, I'm bringing something new. Beep beep. Yeah, I'm trying to come through. Beep beep. Yeah, I'm bringing something new. There's no limit, I'm trying to feel it. Every time I see it, well, I'm gonna break through it. Get the juice, be happy and do it. No one can stop it. If they want it, they can try it. Forever with that, I'ma move through it. When I break through it, you can all feel it. All the things I said, yeah, you can all see it. No matter who you are, I'ma try to free it. Beep beep. Yeah, I'm trying to come through. Beep beep. Yeah, I'm bringing something new. Beep beep. Yeah, I'm trying to come through. Beep beep. Yeah, I'm bringing something new.
Hello and welcome to E-League of Ireland. My name is D Campion and I'm joined here today by Sater. How you doing, Sater?
Doing good. Looking forward to seeing some FIFA today. It's been it's been a long week waiting for it to come back. I've been fairly happy after meeting Duels last week and having a good chat with him and getting to poke into your brain a little bit now about FIFA. So how do you feel about these teams going forward? Have you seen a lot of good quality? Are you kind of happy overall with the skill that is kind of in every single group?
Listen, you are dealing with the best of the best in the country. There's a reason they're here. You know I'm fairly familiar with a few of these players as well. It's Duffy example. They've been around the scene a while, and it's absolutely no surprise to me that they are involved in such an event like this. And the skill on show, you're not going to see it more or less anywhere else, especially in the country. You know, I know you have the E-Prem in the UK, but this is the best of the best, and there's a reason why they're here. These guys know the mechanics, they know the game inside and out, and they're going to be looking to take advantage of that, you know. However, I do realize that when you put top level players against top level players, they're a cagey affair, you know. They both know the mechanics so well, and they're going to be looking at a chink in the armor, you know. In games like these, you have to just it's whoever makes the first move, whoever makes the first mistake, it could be detrimental. So I'm looking forward to tonight. We have some juicy matchups, and listen, there's going to be goals, there's going to be high-end moments, there's going to be mistakes. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and at the moment it is straight out to those wings, and this is something I spoke about a little bit with Duels, is that they're afraid to actually get the ball into the box. They're afraid to cross it in. It is that passing style game, and we've seen a lot of it. Is there anything that you're seeing like in that kind of style that would you be afraid to cross it in these situations? Is there something that's happened with FIFA that you just can't cross the ball in?
I think the in-game mechanics this year, the meta is pointing towards using the wings a lot more, using your pacey wingers. And what I've seen at the high level, the high elite level of pros in this game is that they have to create these angles. As we're seeing here down the left-hand side, you're trying to create that little bit of space in the box so you can play that the end line cutback so you get the easy goal. And a lot of it, for the most part, a lot of people are saying it's a little bit boring this year, but people don't realize the practice that goes into this. You know, I know a lot of the high-end pros, and they spend hours upon hours working out the best way to work the ball across, as we're seeing here, a long ball across the field to try and open up that space on the wing. And you know, it is a skill. People say it's boring, it's this and that, but they spend hours perfecting this. And we see an early yellow card there as well. Not really one that you see very often in FIFA, you know, yellow cards for lunge in tackles, but a bit of a strange one. But you know, a very fast start from both sides here, Sayer.
Yeah, the referee might have to be careful on the way out of the stadium there today. I feel like that was a bit much, but that's the first card I've actually seen in the entirety of all the games I've watched and casted, so a bit of a surprise. But I am looking forward to seeing some adaptability coming from some of these teams, because if everyone's playing the very same style, sometimes you just got to find something that can cut around that just a little bit and kind of open up an avenue of success. And I really hope to see one of the two guys here really find something, but right now it is that passing game outside the box. He has an opportunity here, kind of being a little bit more hesitant than he usually would, but giving it away softly there.
Yeah, very patient build-up. I think he just overplayed a little bit more. The opening was out to the right there. He could have just slipped him in. But again, you're seeing a lot of different types of styles this year as well, though, Sayer. You know, we have people who go through the middle, like what we're seeing here now, and you have people who attack the full-backs and the wide areas. And, you know, if you try and mix that up and you can put the balance in your game between both, I think you're going to have a lot more success than just being one-dimensional. Because, like I said, these guys study the game. He could be in here, though, Sayer.
Oh, and he
big
pulled it
opportunity.
Back. Pulled it back, like just go for the run, just go for it. But no, and then he also gives away possession as well. It was a good build up and a very good tackle. That was a tough one there. That was a Roy Keane special on that one.
Absolutely.
Aiming for the knees of Haaland, but he gets it, and it's a great position here, playing a little bit of skill moves. Those boosted stats will come in handy there, but outside the box, and it's just hesitancy, and it's just not getting the ball out from under your feet.
Yeah, absolutely. And like we said, it's a bit back and forth here, but no one really getting a break. But it could be on here, 2v1. If he can get to the end line and cut it back, which he does. Very good defending. And just like that, that could have been 1-0, Sayer. And that, again, you're seeing the pace of the wingers being abused there. You know, these wingers this year, you're able to run past your defenders. You're able to get down the line. And it's just about having the composure to find a pass in the middle. But very, very well defended there.
Yeah, very, very well defended, getting back in time, and it looked like it was going to open up there. But a quick question for you is, it's Wexford versus Waterford, so it's pretty much on the borders there. Yeah. Which one are you more inclined to support here? So you see, it looked like an opening, but who would you go for, Wexford or Waterford? Because I'm quite close to both of them.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a leash man, so I mean,
okay.
I don't have much to be shouting about, but you know, I have a weird affiliation with Waterford. A friend of mine actually plays for, I don't know if he still does, Killian Cantwell is a centre-back for Waterford United in actual League of Ireland. So I'd have to say Waterford are probably a bit close to my heart, but and it's in! Just like that!
Yeah, he scores it out of nowhere. Yeah, so Waterford actually do take the lead there. Yeah, very interesting start, and a bit worried there that he managed to get that one, especially when Wexford and Emerald Herald, he is undefeated here.
Yeah, he's top of the group, 12 points out of 12 points, undefeated against Duffy, who is sitting in 4th place as well on 6 points. So it's a must-win game for Duffy, really. He has to win at least one of these legs to try and really keep himself in the tie and in the group stage, rather. And it's going to be a tough task for him here, you know. Emerald is no gimme. You know, he's proven it throughout this tournament, and there's a reason why he's sitting in 1st place. And you've seen it there. Great finish. Yeah,
so it is Emerald Herald in the green kit, I believe.
Oh, right.
Is
okay,
it?
Yeah.
Or is it the other way around?
It's tough to tell. It's actually quite tough to tell on the actual game itself. So wait, so it's Duffy. My apologies. Is this Duffy who's actually gone ahead there? Is it, Sayer?
I don't know. I'm actually confused now. I'm actually after getting in my own brain and going, but we do have a 1-goal lead. We'll go with that for now. We'll figure it out in a few minutes.
We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
So I'm the big Wicklow man. So I'm right beside Wexford, right beside Waterford. That's a second goal. How do you let that one go?
Wow. Yeah, it's just opening up now, and we see this a lot at this standard as well. You know, it takes a little bit to suss each other out. As soon as one goal goes in, it usually eases off, and the mentality changes from being 0-0, being 1-0 down. You start panicking, and it all comes down to your mentality as a pro. Are you going to be able to deal with it? Are you going to continue to play your own game or not? And, you know, what we're seeing here is somebody who's maybe panicking, not doing what they were doing at the start, and there's gaps opening now, and we're seeing another attack here as well. You know, this could be 3-0 before half-time.
That was a very cute pass to go for. If it managed to get off, that would have opened up exceptionally well and created a big opportunity. But I think now that you're 2-0 down, first half, the changes have to start coming through here. You got to start thinking about what you're going to do in the second half, because you need to start picking it up. We do see a pause being queued as well by Duffy, so trying to get a change in before half-time. He might not get it in time if the ball doesn't go out, and might just have to send it out himself just in case. But does go to halftime, won't get that pause in time, and now at least we'll find out who's in the lead, because the pause menu should show us for sure.
The names will be up, but listen, it was a great first half, you know, a cagey affair, 2 goals. I think, you know, they'll be disappointed with conceding that, because they were very, for the most part, up until the last 10 minutes of that half, FIFA minutes that is, they were very, very consistent with being very hard to break down, very little amount of chances. And what we're seeing is a bit of, they're being ruthless in front of the goal. They've had 2 chances, as you can see there, 2 shots, 2 goals, and that's the difference in these types of games. It's a very, very close game other than that.
Yeah, the possession fairly equal. The passes are the only thing that's kind of going in their favor, and they got a free kick, which kind of works, I suppose. But Yeah, so I'm a bit worried that the way the goals kind of ramped up right at the end is kind of worrying. So they've immediately went from 0-0 looking close, not really much opportunity, to bang one, bang two. It was very, very quick. And was it a lapse in concentration from one of the sides? Or was it more of it just was good play? Because I feel like a lot of mental goes into these games. Like, I know when I'm playing by myself, playing even my ultimate team, if I go down with 2 goals or 1 goal, I start to get that mental, like, how are they getting these goals on me, you know? But we do actually get it confirmed from the pause menu there that it is Herald, or the Emerald MH is in the orange kit. So the favorite is in the lead.
Yeah, top of the group for a reason, and he's showing it there, and that makes sense as to why it's Duffy was trying to make a pause just before half-time. I don't think he realized what time it was. Otherwise, he would have just waited. But, you know, Duffy now, it's a different mentality this half. You know, it really is. It's a do-or-die mentality now. He has to change things up. I'm sure he would have played around with his formations or played around with his tactics, maybe go for a press after possession loss type thing. You know, get on his opponent. He has to put some pressure on. Simple as he has to claw a goal back here early to be in with a chance to win this game. And it's an all or nothing. And look, as you've seen there, he's winning the ball high up in the half now. You know, I would be very surprised if he didn't go into his formation, into his tactics, and go full press and try and really give this a go. And he's found an opening, and it's a great save right at the front post. I'm very surprised he didn't go for a far post finish there. That looked like it opened up for him.
Yeah, and we go back to that short ball from the corner, no crossing. It's something I always talk about, because I love seeing headed goals. I just love the kind of tactics that go into a set piece, and we don't see a lot of them at all. And even with the golden goal rule, we don't see a lot of penalties either, and I love penalties in FIFA. It's just, there's so much heart that goes into it, and you can just feel it when they finally get it, or if they get that save either.
Oh my god, what a goal! Sorry to cut in, you said
that was silenced, absolutely silenced.
Wow, ball roll finesse into the far corner. And you know, that's very funny, because I was thinking about it. I was watching a pro the other day, and it's something you don't see much of in this FIFA 23. It's brought in a whole new dynamic to scoring goals, how to score goals. And we have the Travellas, you know, and last year the meta was the heel to heel green time finesse from outside the box, and we've seen it time and time again. It was so repetitive. It's something you don't see this year, so it's actually quite refreshing to see a goal like that, a green time finesse on the edge of the box, float into the top bins. I'm for it. I'm all for it. 3-0.
Nothing better than getting silenced by your play-by-play. I absolutely love it, because it means something amazing just happened. So never apologize for that. You just absolutely perfect cutting over me there, and we do see another opportunity kind of opening up. Like, Duffy isn't out yet. I don't want to say that, because I've seen in my first week, I was just like expecting the levels. I was like, oh, Gareth shows the first one I'm going to cast. Going to see some great FIFA. Goes 3-0 up, loses.
Yeah.
And I'm just wow.
Anyone who knows me, you know, and has seen me playing FIFA, has seen me in these positions, in foot champs, in anything. And all it takes this year, especially, the full press mechanic is so overpowered. It's such a leveler, you know, and when you bring it into this type of level, this level of FIFA playing, these pros who know the game inside and out, it can be such a hard mechanic to get away from, especially when you're 3-0 up. This game is never done.
Nice
never done.
Nice little move there. Some skill moves coming out, but gives up possession weakly there. There's not a lot pushing forward, and the speed isn't quite there yet, but could make something happen. Good ball.
He's in a dangerous area there. I feel like he just let the chance go away from him there. We see a little elastico there as well in the box. Emerald's starting to show what he's capable of doing with the sticks, with the skill moves, and I love to see it. You know, the reverse elasticos, the elasticos in them little areas, in the penalty box especially, to create that little inch of space to be able to get them shots off. It's essential at this level of the game.
Yeah, it's like a Sunday league, and there's just that one guy that comes in with the Under Armour on, you know, and he looks like a footballer. Stop. Just a completely different level to the rest of the lads that are clearly just off a night out the night before. You know, just comes through looking like a pro, and just great little play coming through there. But Duffy mounting an attack here, does have options on the wing.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's in here in the cutback, and it's 3-1. And just like you said, Sater, it's not over till it's over. There is a fighting chance for Duffy here. And if he has to go all out now, I'm surprised I'm not seeing a pause from Duffy. Maybe he's happy with his press. Maybe he has his custom tactics already done. But I would be certainly pausing now, composing myself, maybe getting a couple of subs on, and trying to push for this. But you know, when that goal goes in, it's always in the back of your mind. 3-0 up, you're thinking, oh, I'm cruising. All of a sudden, the goal goes in, and you start thinking, oh no, here we go. You know, we've been here before, 3-0 up, and then all of a sudden, you can see the mentality is different. You know, I'm liking what I'm seeing from his Duffy here, though. You know, he's keeping the ball, being patient, trying to find that opening, and if he gets another one before the 85th minute, this could be a very, very nervy ending for Emerald.
Very reminiscent of Arsenal and Southampton, top of the table versus bottom of the table, and it ends up 3-3 and can change the whole kind of seeding when it comes out of those groups. So it might make some changes here, and I think maybe making a sub or two. I think you're right there, but right now gets possession back, has some time, has players to work with here, but it just gets shut down. It's like the double man marking, but has made space for himself in on the wing. He's got a cross in. Oh my, that was the softest shot of just a little bit more power on the end of that, and it could have been another goal.
Wow, that is a big opportunity, and like I said, he needed that goal before the 85th minute to give himself a chance. And I don't know whether he's red timed it or whether it was just mishit, but you know, that was a massive chance to get back in this game. And you know, another chance gone missing there as well. And now we're seeing Emerald on the counter attack. He's been so good at finding the space down the wings here on the counter attack, but he's got no support here. Now they're flooding in if he can find him. But you know what, Emerald here, very professional, keeping the ball. It's so essential to keep the ball in these situations, try and let the clock run out. You know, some would say it's unsportsmanlike, but I mean, at the end of the day, Sater, if you give away the ball in the 89th minute and concede an equalizer, are you going to be kicking yourself? Yes, you are. Could be another goal here. He's gone for the chip, and it's worked out for him.
Oh, the keeper couldn't get the hands. The hands weren't there.
Very lucky deflection from the keeper, saved right back to his feet. And again, look, you said it, you called it, Sater. This game's not over. Now, there's going to be one more chance in this game. If he can win the ball back, which he has. Here we go. This is it. It's all or nothing for Duffy. 1 minute added in. This is it. Can he find that equalizer and salvage a point for himself? He's in here. He's in. Keeper comes rushing out. And that is it. What an ending to the game. And Duffy may have just salvaged a point, but he didn't get the shot off in time. Maybe a ball roll there, Sater. You know I'm the worst for doing it. You know, in these situations, you'll go back and look at it, but the ball roll around the keeper there may have been the best solution. But I tell you what, that will serve Duffy well going into the second game, because you know he's fought back. He knows he can come back now, and he'll definitely take some confidence from them 2 goals that he scored, and he outplayed him in the second half.
Yeah, he really kind of showed his stuff there in the second half. Not kind of indicative of where he is in the table, really showing that he can still play with the big boys. And it was incredible to see the comeback mounting. I was kind of joking with the Arsenal-Southampton thing, but it looked possible there for a second. It started to lift a little bit. So I have a lot of hope for Duffy now in the second half. And if it goes 3-2 in Duffy's favour, we could go to golden goal once again.
Absolutely. Listen, both phenomenal players as we've seen there in that game. It's a great showcase for Irish esports talent, and you know, I know It's Duffy is going to be kicking himself. You know, I've played It's Duffy before, unfortunately. in a game of foot champs we got matched together, and it was not a fun time for me. But you know, I know what It's Duffy is like. He's going to be coming away from that, especially with that chance at the end. I know he's going to be thinking to himself, why didn't I ball roll it? You know, these guys think on such a decisive level, you know, in terms of how they play. Everything's almost robotic. It's muscle memory when it comes to them, and he definitely will be disappointed with it. But like I said, that comeback is so essential to his mentality going into this game. You know, if he had lost 3-0 and it was a bit of a whitewash, he's going into the second game thinking, oh, this is going to be a long day. However, he didn't. He fought back. He done whatever he needed to do at halftime, and it worked for him. So it's going to be interesting, though, Sater. You know, what would you do if you're It's Duffy right now? All right, you've lost the first leg. It was a whitewash in the first half. Whatever you did at halftime gave you that momentum, gave you that kind of stronghold on the game. Are you coming into the start of this game now with them same tactics, or are you gonna wing it? Are you gonna see how it goes and then kind of suss it out, see what the score is at halftime? What would you be doing?
I think it's more of a warm-up situation, I think, in my head, where Duffy quite wasn't warm enough in the first half, and then it started to get into the flow of things, started to build up the mental and just his ability in itself. So I think if he just gets that cool head and relaxes just a little bit more and takes those chances when they come, because he is finding the avenues and he's missed a couple of really good opportunities to take it. But as you see, that attack almost immediately, it's so fast. Emerald is just wants to take this one straight to the end and score immediately.
Yeah, Emerald knows what he needs to do. And again, we're seeing the perfect execution of using the wings. Emerald has it down to a T, and he's executing it perfectly. You know, he has the fast players on the wings. He's using channel runs. One thing that I am surprised about, which we haven't seen yet, is player locks. I know it was very effective last year, maybe not as essential this year in terms of trying to find space because of the AI being so intelligent in terms of forward runs. I for one, don't think it's as intelligent as it needs to be, but that's just me. Maybe I'm just not at that level. But yeah, player locks seem to be a very, very big using point from these pros, you know, trying to get them channel runs. And he is on side here, and this is it, Duffy. He's just taking too long.
What was
taking too long?
Holding in his feet, was maybe hoping for someone to try and come and give him some assistance there, but just go for it. Just go for the run. It's 0-0. You can take those opportunities and just put the pressure on, but when you do something like that, it gets more into the Emerald's hand, being like, he's choking this one.
Yeah, I feel like, you know, in them situations as well, a big factor of FIFA 23 is keeper movement. And at this level, they're so precise, they're so good, and the timing is so well, they execute perfectly. So I think he was hoping for some keeper movement so he could just hit it near post, and it just didn't come. So he was kind of in two minds, but definitely a let off for Emerald. But, you know, it'll be positive from Duffy's point of view. If this doesn't go in, and it does, Emerald punishes its Duffy for not being clinical down the other end, and it is 1-0. And first blood to Emerald yet again. And I can't help but think it's Duffy's mind has to be in turmoil right now after giving up such an incredible opportunity up the other end. He goes and concedes. And, you know, if you're It's Duffy right now, Sayer, you know, you have to be thinking, have I blown my opportunity here?
Yeah, 100%. It's just fallen so badly there for him. And it's just Evan Ferguson is absolutely lethal outside that box. But here's another opportunity. He's gotten 2 chances of possession and he just doesn't quite get it off. Once again, playing with it in his feet, and it's good interceptions and good defense, but great ball over the top. But we might have to call VAR on that one. Call VAR.
I think he was a little bit off there. But listen, like I said, like you said, Duffy, couple of great chances, and he needs to start taking them. You know, at this level, you have to be clinical. We've seen it in the last game, and we're seeing it in this game. Emerald, 2 chances, 2 goals. Simple as. You cannot afford to be giving up chances against these high elite level of players. Simple as. You have to do the business. You have to green time. You have to find the openings, and you have to pick your spots. And it's Duffy just a little bit too wasteful, unfortunately.
Yeah, just also giving the ball away in such weird places that it's just opening up more and more for Emerald to put the pressure on, and even taking shots from outside the box as well. Just kind of playing with it a little bit more, knowing that he probably has the mental edge and he has the ability to put more pressure on. But this looks like a good attack coming forward.
Good defending. Yeah, ball roll there, trying to create that space to create an angle to pass the ball into the box. I would have liked to see him gone a little bit further down to the end line, where so that your players aren't offside when you pass it across. Sometimes the AI runs out in front of you. But yeah, like you said, I think we seen a Travella shot from Emerald there, which is quite wasteful. At this level, you usually don't see players taking shots unless it's a guaranteed goal, right? Because they have to make sure the percentages.
It's a bit of flair.
So that's a little bit of an indication that Emerald is having fun. He's a little bit relaxed, you know, and you know, it's not a disrespectful thing, but it's more of a case of, you know, I reckon I'm okay here, you know. He's quite confident right now, but like you said, this game is never over till it's over, and we've seen Duffy 3-0 down in the first half of the last game, so he's 1-0 down now, could potentially be, you know, 2-1 up, having taken his chances. So if he can get in at 1-0 or potentially even 1-1 here, if he can get something from this attack, then yeah,
at least he's taking shots.
He'll be okay.
At least he's taking shots. That's something we have to look forward to, is more shots just even being on target. Even if the keeper gets a hand on it, there's a chance that could be spilled by the keeper.
He's in. Oh, wow, great save. He's gone near post there again, and we see so much more of that, Sater. You know, the higher level you go up, the harder it is to score, simply because of that keeper movement that I was talking about. So that's why you're seeing a lot of these pros and a lot of these high level FIFA players go near post when it's not necessarily on. And it becomes a battle of wits and a battle of kind of mentality and knowing your opponent. You know, it's kind of at this high level, it's a case of I know you know that I know, right? And it's saying I know a normal person would move their keeper because that's what an average player would do. They would shoot in the far end. These players are at such a high level, they're thinking on each other's levels and they're cancelling each other out almost. So the level of thought is incredible. And we see it's Duffy now. He may have a chance here to level it up. He's gone for it. What a goal!
Ooh, off
the crossbar and in. And it's that man, Evan Ferguson again, the Irish star boy. Plays for Brighton in real life, and my word, what a strike that was, and what a goal, and what a time to score it for It's Duffy.
Yeah, absolutely exceptional goal. Great opportunity. It didn't actually see much coming from it. It was kind of one of those ones you like, there's a slight chance here, but took it in his stride. Had a great run from outside, straight off the crossbar. Brilliant, brilliant stuff from Evan Ferguson there. And more from him in the future, hopefully just like that. But right now, Duffy has been in control for the last 15 minutes of this FIFA half. And it's just been non-stop mounting pressure, and it's looking a lot better for him now coming into it, the second leg, the second half. That could be where we see Duffy open up.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, he's definitely been in control here, and you can see him growing in confidence with every attack. I think, again, he'll be kicking himself. He could be 2 or 3-1 up in this leg, and he's going to be very disappointed, but it's about reactions. It's about how you react to situations in this game, and I'm the worst one for it. Ask anybody. I let my emotions get the better of me. If a pass doesn't go to my player, I'm aggravated, I'm angry. And the difference between the average FIFA player and pros like this, screen timed! What a strike! As I was talking, just like that, Emerald, clinical again, 45th minute goal. That was a green time near post power. Wow, what a finish. And Duffy has to be very disappointed with conceding that in the last second of the half.
Yeah, that'll be a knock into the halftime. I say there was going to be a thought on tactics of how I can get forward and how much can I kind of expend from my back line, and can we get maybe some of those right backs and left backs up towards that midfield and try to create more chances. But now with that goal going in, you have to be careful with that, because you can't let it go to a 2-goal lead. So there's a little bit of worry there building up for sure. And I guess the main thing I'm going to ask you is, what would the mental be like for you? Because look at the actual kind of possession, even shots more, expected goals higher, passes better, tackles won better. There's a lot going in Duffy's favour, and we would like to see more from it. But what's going through your head if you're Duffy right now?
If I'm Duffy, look, I'm very disappointed to concede that goal, but it's not something I'm not used to, right? We all know, anyone who plays FIFA, the 45th minute, the 90th minute, there's something about it. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to make any assumptions, but there's something about it. And that's why you see a lot of these pros in the 86th, 87th minute, they'll pass it along the back, right? They don't want to give away the ball, because that is vital moments of the game, right? So Duffy will know this. He'll know he gave away the ball with about a minute or 2 to go in the half. You know, at that stage, 1-1, you've had a good half. Is it better just to kind of wait for the final attack, hold on to the ball, and go into the next half full of confidence? He didn't do it. He's going to be disappointed. I can tell straight away. His mentality has to be, right, we go again. I've been the better player. However, I need to start taking my chances. Simple as. It's all or nothing now. 45 minutes. This is the second leg. I've lost the first one. We need to get points on the table. He has to go for it this half. I'd be, again, very surprised if Duffy doesn't come out in a very, very controlling, constant press type formation and custom tactics here. He has to go for it.
Yeah, he has to get something going here. And I would like to see a strong start and just get the legs in there, get the ball back and put the pressure down. But right now it is just control. It's going to be nice and hesitant. He's going to be cautious with his attacks, kind of keeping possession here, Emerald. And he still got it. He tries to get a shot off out from under his feet. He couldn't get it, but he still has the ball, more importantly. And that looks like, I thought that was going to be an injury there for a second.
Yeah, some good play there from Emerald. Good start. He's looking for the little elastico again to find that space. Such an effective skill move to use in the area. Elastico, reverse elastico. And it just hasn't come off for him yet, but I have a feeling it will in future, you know, if he keeps getting into them situations. And we're seeing Ferguson again. Very good defending from Duffy, though. He's been very good from the center, you know. For the most part, there's been a lot of attacks going down the throat of Duffy in terms of his defense, and he's been very, very solid. There's been a couple of situations where he's let him get a little bit of space, and he's been punished for it. He knows he can't give him any space in the box. We've seen a green time finish from him in the first half. Oh, maybe an opening to take a shot there. He opted for the fake shot, which I think was the wrong option. But, you know, again, very positive from Duffy, though. You know, he's finding space in the box. I feel like if Duffy can just move the ball up a little bit quicker, get into them areas, I think Emerald is there for the taking with chances created. I think his defense isn't as solid as it's Duffy's when it comes to the center of the pitch.
Yeah, I think Duffy does have some faults in the play. I think you're dead on that. But see, everything that can be worked on will be worked on leading up to those finals, leading up through the rest of these playoffs. And Duffy trying to just put like a man mark down, saying like I am going to be back next year and I'm going to absolutely come stomping through whatever group I'm placed in. And taking someone like Emerald, who has such a good win-loss ratio so far, not dropped a game, there is that in the back of the mind. Duffy's like, I can play with the best, and nearly.
Wow, I thought that was in. I thought that was in.
Very close.
The flight of that ball, I thought it was in, and we're seeing a pause now. I'm gonna guess it's from It's Duffy. It's about that time, 60th minute, 65th minute, 2-1 down. You're gonna look to pile on some pressure, and we are seeing that It's Duffy is in ultra attacking right now. What that usually means, for anyone who doesn't know, is that they are going at the highest possible constant press. They're looking to get on every single touch. However, that does leave you susceptible to being open at the back, because every player is going to be on absolute just everything. They're going to be on the touch. Your fullbacks are going to be flowing forward. It's going to leave you susceptible to a counter attack. It's a high risk, high reward type formation, type custom tactic. This is Emerald's?
Emerald is in the orange. He's away.
My bad. Emerald is on the ultra attacking then. Maybe he's trying to kill this game. Could be. You know, and I don't blame him. You know, I do see it as well at the high level. Sometimes you think you're 2-1 up, go ultra defensive, sit in. No, actually, what these guys do best is attack. So maybe he's thinking, let's go get the third goal, and that's the killer blow.
Yeah, playing it out from the back now. Gonna take his time with it, try drag some players forward, make some space for himself. On that ultra attacking, you do need to make a little bit of space, because you don't know exactly what tactics they're going for on the other side either. They seem to be holding a little bit and not sending the defense too far forward. But another good interception. He's been on form with these so far, Emerald Harold.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are seeing that high press now from Duffy as well. As you can see, as soon as he loses the ball, just keep an eye on his players when he loses the ball. The reaction after he loses it. Look at them all running, looking to pick up every single man that Emerald has. And that's the joys of this custom tactic of the ultra attacking, is that the AI ultimately, as soon as you lose the ball, the reaction is to get the ball back. So they're in your face, they don't give you any space, and it's very difficult to play around that. However, like I said, it does leave you susceptible to counter attacks, and there will be space to attack you when you do lose it. But it floods bodies forward, as we're seeing here. Oh, just offside there, but
good opportunity.
Yeah, Duffy he's definitely going for it here, Sater.
Yeah, good opportunity. Just a little bit on the timing there. If you get that right, that could have been a goal. So great work. But on that counter attack from that set piece, just get that free kick in, make space for himself, loses the ball a bit weakly there. Could have let that one go, but the Emerald also queuing up the own pause, trying to get something going. Maybe feeling the pressure now just a little bit in the last kind of few minutes here. Kind of has to get something changed in the tactics.
Yeah, absolutely. What that is just the typical, I've realized Duffy now has gone ultra attacking, so now I either need to make a sub or I need to just change some things. You know, sometimes, like you see there, your centre midfielders run out a bit of gas, your fullbacks maybe as well, as we've seen there, taking Doherty off, Coleman coming in. Centre backs, you want them fresh, you want them to be able to sprint, you know, and this all is... This is the difference in levels, you know. A lot of people, like the average FIFA player like me, they'll leave their centre backs on a half stamina, you know. And it's the difference between it being fresh and not being fresh, as to not conceding a goal in the last minute, you know. So I like that move from Emerald. I think it's very smart. You know, he's not that to me shows that he's not taking Duffy for a fool. You know, he knows that he's capable of creating something. He knows, and it makes him very, very, very dangerous. You know, especially in this custom tactic would be in full press as well. So, a very smart move in my opinion from Emerald.
Yeah, especially getting more speed up to the front as well, swapping out that striker just so we can go for one of those runs, and we see immediately it's starting to work.
Near post, yeah.
Every
Absolutely.
day.
And that's going to be game over. And there you go. That's the difference between making a sub and not making a sub. You know, sometimes they're fresh, they're just off the bench. And as you've seen there as well, I don't know if you've seen it, but that keeper movement, you know, that little ball roll before he shot, he didn't panic. He took his time. He knew the keeper movement may come, and then when it did, he went for the near post Trivella. So very, very well played and extremely experienced finish there as well. But Duffy may not be out of this if he can get a quick goal back. You know, it's if he can get one back here, which he doesn't.
Ooh.
That
Good
type of shot.
Though.
That type of shot there where it's hit down the middle, that tells me that Duffy was in two minds whether to go near post or whether to go at the far post like he did there, and he kind of hit down the middle of the analog stick, you know. He wasn't sure whether the keeper was going to move or not, and it was a bit of a panic shot, and he didn't really know where to go. So them types of chances should be going in, and I have to say, I think Duffy has to look at himself and think, you know, this game was here for the taking for me, you know, especially the second leg. I think he's had chances. I think he's had more clean-cut chances than Emerald, you know, but he hasn't given up. He's done absolutely fantastic, and I think he just needs to get back to the lab and just focus on being more clinical, you know, taking these chances. I think he's a fantastic player. He's done himself absolutely no harm here in these two games. I think he's been fantastic, but again, it just comes down to the clinicalness.
Yeah, once it's down to the bottle at the end when it's that decision making. You've got to make that snap decision, and you have to make it fast. There can be no hesitation there. And Duffy, everything else is working fine. He's getting the opportunities. It's just the finishing. It's just that last little bit. So more than excited to see Duffy come back once again and get that sorted. Once that's done, and even we can see a change again with the next game, the next iteration, the next meta that comes out, it could work more in his favor with a different style of play. So FIFA is one of those games that over the course of the year, a lot of things can change in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
So we have to keep an eye on that. But that is game one, and that is going to go to Emerald, and finishes this group incredibly strong.
Yeah, GG's to both competitors. Emerald with in the end, a dominating display. You know, 6 goals to Duffy's 3 really over the 2 legs, and you know, look at that them stats paint the story of a different scoreline, so to speak. You know, Duffy had 8 shots. He had a little bit less possession, but at the end of the day, it comes down to whether you take them chances, and Duffy just simply didn't. You know, I'm sure Duffy is going to be disappointed with himself, but he's a great player. I know that for a fact. He's a great player, and he's going to be around the scene for a long time, and he's only going to get better every single performance that he puts in. You know, he needs to go back. He needs to look at his footage back. He needs to look at his gameplay. And at the end of the day, look, you learn more from your losses than you do from your wins, right? You go back, you look at it, you see what your weaknesses were, how you could see to these goals with the chances that you didn't score, what could you do better, you know, and they're only going to get better. That's what these pros do, you know. They don't win and lose, they win and learn. And that's what's going to happen with Duffy, and I'm sure we're going to see him back bigger and stronger next time. Absolutely. We're
going to see him very, very soon, I suppose, because the next season will be coming up very quickly. But the other thing is we're going to cut to a quick break before we get into game 2, so please don't go anywhere. It's going to be a great series.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is time to jump into our second fixture of the night. And Sater, listen, this is gonna be a juicy affair. We have third place versus fourth place, two legs. Tofino, who is Bray, Finn Harps rather. If he wins these two games, he can overlap Luciano here. So there's a lot at stake here. What do you think?
I think there's an opportunity. I do think there's a chance for something to happen that could change things up a little bit, but it's still a mountain to climb. It's still another step that needs to be taken. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it will shape out with Finn Harps. It's just a team you like to support. They just have a good name about them, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Fun fact about Finn Harps, which I'll tell you after this attack, because it looks like he's going to score. But yeah, so my League of Ireland debut was actually against Finn Harps. It was away in Ballybuffet, and it was the most hostile environment, but it was the most enjoyable game ever. I tell you that. They have incredible fan base down there, and it was certainly an experience. So I have a little soft spot for Finn Harps.
Did
really,
you beat them,
myself. We did not. We lost 2-0, and they definitely let us know. They definitely let us know that we were losing. I can tell you that. I can still remember the fans in the shed there that day. It was incredible though. But yeah, fantastic club with great history as well. But oh my God, what a header! Wow, and that is something that you mentioned previous, Sater, that we don't see a lot of crossing or headers in this game, especially this year. Last year there was a little bit of a meta with some crossing and stuff, but this year we don't see as much of it, and it's we seem to be seeing a lot of it here. That was a little German ball, by the way, as well. For anyone who doesn't know what a German ball is, it's when you set one of the AI players off on a run, you wait for them to get on the line of the defense, and you cross the ball to them. It's like a hidden attack that is very, very, very difficult to defend, and we're seeing early signs of it there from Luciano. So very open at the minute, Sater. You know, it's kind of seems like we could be in for a good high-scoring event here. Yeah,
their attacks are mounting. I also think I saw an injury pop up there on the right back, so I have to keep an eye on that as well, because an injury here does change things a little bit. Yeah. We'll have to change up those squads. So Finn Harps, I have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, the attacks, they're different than what we've seen before, but that's a great ball to take. That could be a big opportunity if you can get some space, and he does.
Oh! I thought that was a penalty. I thought it was going to be a penalty there.
I think the ref was looking at that one as well. That was a bit shaky, but nonetheless, they are back in the box again. Nice little stop there by the defender. So staying solid, staying in his position and not moving, not getting dragged into the play. And yeah, it's a very, very quick game, and it's aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing a lot of possession being lost by Luciano in his own half, which is worrying signs, really. You know, once the two players kind of, you know, get warmed up, if he continues to lose the possession like that in his own half, it could be detrimental to him getting further on into this game. But very, very nervy kind of start for both players at the back, and chances at both ends. But it looks like it's going to be very open, though. You know, very direct, very aggressive. We're seeing a lot of attacks here from Luciano down the right-hand side. You know, again, going back to that meta of, you know, attacking the wings, looking for the space, looking for the crosses and cutbacks. It's so effective this year. And again, very aggressive from Tofino, and I'm here for it. I love that aggressive, in your face, win the ball back as high up as possible, and try and get a counter attack going. So it's going to be a good game here. And you are right. I believe there is an injury. I think it's the left mid for Luciano. There's a couple of injuries
already. It's one of those games. They've been playing so much over these last few weeks that the injuries are just coming through. You know, the fatigue leaking into the squads here. And I say there is a little bit of fatigue maybe with the players as well. because we're seeing a lot of mistakes that we usually wouldn't have seen, especially from
there
that.
it is.
No way.
That's the opening. Yeah,
Finn
straight away,
Harps.
cut down the middle of the defense, and he's going for the kickoff glitch here, which I haven't seen any of in the previous games. But for anyone wondering, that kickoff glitch has been a thing this year. You pass it back to your midfielder, back into the striker, you send him on a run, and it's a quick ball over the top. Didn't work out the way Luciano planned there. However, you know, Tofino taking advantage of a split defense there from Luciano, and a very, very good finish. Travella finished very, very composed, and you know, this game is blown wide open now. And again, see, he's losing the ball very, very deep in his own half, and you have to wonder, it's going to come back to bite him one of these times.
Yeah, it should, and it's something that we do have to keep an eye on now, as another through ball over the top. And the adaptability is coming through. There's a lot of things being tried and some things not tested fully yet. So I'm liking the kind of stylistic plays coming out from both players. But I don't have like a horse in the race, I think, is the best way to put it. I don't really see anyone coming out on top just yet. That one goal came fast, but it slowed down the entire pace of this game. And there's a lot more thought going in from both players. But kind of the point I wanted to bring back was the fatigue on players. After a certain amount of weeks playing this, you do start to get a little bit more... I don't know, you get a bit more adapted to the pace of each game, and does it get a little bit slower in the mind then, and it's not as quick thinking, and you just kind of expect things to go the way every other matches went?
Absolutely, the mental fatigue that goes into these games, like these players, what you don't see from these players is the hours they put in off screen and offline. You know, a lot of these players, a lot of them are streamers, you know, a lot of them go online to do their champs, all this type of stuff, but it's the work in the lab, I like to call it, as to what you don't see. And that's the 8-9 hours a day practicing, playing against other pros, trying to get their hours in, trying to learn the mechanics. And you know, that in itself, like, you know, anyone who plays FIFA knows how mentally draining it is to play the game, right? It just is, because the level of concentration needed is just so intense. So, you know, that's a great ball over the top. Can he hit it now? He's gone for the cutback. I thought he would have hit it first time, but snuffed out. But yeah, absolutely, you're right. You know, the mental fatigue comes and plays a part in it as well. And it's a credit to them, you know, as players at this level, they pull it out of the bag every single time. And sometimes you don't get rewarded, but this time you do, and it is Finn Harps and Tofino getting a stronghold on this game early on, 2-0. And I have to say, I'm very, very impressed with Tofino's intricate play around the area. In the area, he's doing la croquetas, he's doing some skill moves and stuff to try and find that space for cutbacks, for finishes, and he's done it twice perfectly, and he's got the rewards for it as well. 2-0, fantastic start.
Yeah, Luciano's got to be kicking himself a little bit there, as it's kind of getting opened up and he's just being left defenseless in these, and just it's a good start. He just needs to keep it up though and get as many goals as possible, bring up that goal difference, get those goal advantages in. And right now they're looking a little bit shaky. And how do you feel going 2-0 down in the first half in situations like this? What's your thing to do?
It's a tough one, because I feel like, you know, Luciano, he's playing very one-dimensional at the minute. He's looking at this attack on this right-hand side, and it's not worked. It's not working for him, you know. Times like this, you're 2-0 down at halftime, E-League of Ireland. Now you have to bring your adaptability. How are you going to adapt to the game situation? How are you going to change it? How are you going to mix it up so that you're not predictable anymore? Because Tofino seems like he snuffed it out. You know, he covers that right-hand side. He doubles up. He right stick changes, so he brings extra players across to cover it. And then he attacks down the middle, and he's doing the R1 driven pass into his strikers. He's doing the link-up 1-2 plays. You know, as we can see here, look, the little 1-2s, the through balls, gets in again, looking for the cutback, and he gets it! And that is scrumptious. Absolutely beautiful play, liquid football as I call it, and that is the perfect FIFA, ladies and gentlemen. Out wide, into the middle, 1-2 passes, setting your striker on a run, through ball, cuts back and finishes it. Absolutely fantastic play, and well deserved as well. He's been the better player so far.
Yeah, liquid football, I'm liking that, and I might steal that for future, but absolutely exceptional play there. And is there a chance he goes? There's no way he goes for this.
He could very well go for this. These are quite broken. Ooh, just not enough juice on it. But yeah, look, listen, Luciano finds himself in a very, very difficult position now. He's 100% going to go ultra attacking. He has to. He has nothing to lose now. 3-0 down. And like you said in the previous games, it's all or nothing now, right? Travella cross into the middle, which is nice. Again, the difference in these two players at the minute is that you're seeing an abundance of skill and adaptability from Tofino. You know, he's using different types of methods to attack. He's unpredictable, and when a player brings that unpredictableness to the game, it's so hard to defend. You don't know if he's going to go out wide. You don't know if he's going to go direct. You don't know if he's going to use a skill move, you know? So that being that type of player, it's so invaluable to you in your game. Look, we're seeing a player lock now for the first time as well, which I spoke about in a previous game, you know? So I'm liking what I'm seeing here from Tofino, but Luciano definitely needs to up his game if he's going to want to get back in this. And there's still plenty of time left.
Yeah, so we've seen a 3-0 already, and it came back to 3-2, and it could have easily turned the other way. He was going for the power there. You can see him powering up a little bit, but doesn't quite get it off. It's shut down very quickly, but they're losing possession so easily on the other end. They've tried to mount an attack, and it's immediately taken once again. Finn Harps are running this game right now, and that's got to be eating away slowly at Luciano, that they just don't have control over any aspect of this game. They haven't had the opportunities that Finn Harps have created, and it's got to be chewing away slowly. But we're getting into the later stages of the second half of the first leg only. Finn Harps dominating so far, and considering looking at the groups, you wouldn't have seen it like that.
He has to finish it. He has to finish that if he wants to get back in it. He's gone for the Travella, which by right should probably work in that situation. I don't think his decision making was wrong there. I think the Travella is perfectly fine. A little bit unlucky that the keepers just kind of rushed out and saved it. But again, that comes down to Tofino as well, bringing him out rushing. And we could see another one here. What a save. Wow.
Oh,
Kelleher in goal.
Keeping it alive.
Yeah, wow, that's a goal all day long. You know, I don't think there's much more, Tofino can do there as well on the other end of things. So, you know, very unlucky and chances down both ends also.
What happened there?
You know, he pulled him away, so he thought he was offside. So he pulled his player away so that wouldn't be called for offside. Hold down your L2 and R2 buttons if you want to pull your players away so it doesn't stop the game and give a free kick. Sometimes it can work out for you, sometimes it can't. But yeah, he pulled it away. He didn't want the attack to finish. But again, we're seeing some subs now as well.
Different
from Luciano
formation than we saw previously from Emerald. Going for not a holding team. This is a very center focused and a lot of control in the mid. So yeah, it's a bit of a change of tactics for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 back there. And we're seeing a very attacking formation, which is what you would expect to see when you're 3-0 down. You know, you want your high and wide players out there. You want an abundance in attack, and he has to go for it now. But again, we've seen 2 chances there that could have ended this game entirely from Tofino as he's trying to find that space again. And we've seen again just a couple of skill moves, little heel to heel there as well, trying to create that space. And you know, we're seeing offside traps now from Luciano as well. Power shot, fake shot as well, you know. And we see the McGeady spin. Fantastic play. Again, just not finding that space, though.
Haven't heard that one in years.
Yeah, the McGeady spin is an OG. What a ball that is. First time over the top. Ferguson is clear. Can he finish it? He's gone for the chip, and it's just not enough on it. And it doesn't go in. Again, 2 chances there, which could have gotten him back into this game, having executed them correctly. But fortunately for Tofino, they haven't gone in, and it's still 3-0.
Yeah, it's still a great lead from Finn Harps, and they're looking like they're mounting another attack right now, but they are going to get snuffed out finally, and we're starting to see a bit of life come through from Luciano. He's starting to get something going, and he's starting to get some more opportunities. Not taking them perfectly just yet, but a good cross, kind of snuffed out by that defender. There was no one really in the right position, but at least we're seeing a spark of life come out from Luciano in this first leg.
Absolutely, and now you've got to be thinking about the next leg as well, though, Sayer, right? You know, I'm 3-0 down, I'm being dominated. If I can get a couple of goals, just like we've seen it Duffy do, right? Bit of confidence going into the next game. You know, you didn't get whitewashed. It wasn't a domination. You know, you got a couple of goals back. It's all about how you can bring some form of momentum now into the next game. And, you know, he's definitely going to be looking at a couple of goals here in the end just to try and finish it off. Otherwise, you know, it's a different mentality going into that game. Losing the first leg and losing it by 3 goals or more, it's tough. It's tough to come back from. We've seen a late green time there as well. Just not enough to find the back of the net. And coming into the last few stages of this first leg, it is 3-0 Finn Harps. Tofino against Luciano, and it's been a pretty dominant display as we could see a last goal. Again, Kelleher coming to the aid of Luciano, and it's been quite dominant, Sater, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, 100%. If it went to 4-0 there, I think it would have really destroyed the mental, but it could be 4-0 anyway, but blocked by the defender. I think if they get that extra goal, if they bring it to 4, I think it will just leave Luciano a bit deflated going into the second leg, and we don't want to see that. We want to see good competitive top tier FIFA, and we want players playing at their peak, but Luciano just falling to the wayside in this one, and all about that second leg. Does have a good opportunity. That was a powerful header from the position they were in. Love FIFA sometimes.
Yeah, very, very kind of awkward kind of play style there with the cross. This could be it to wrap it up. He's gone for the sweat goal, and he's got it. 4-0. Dominance on display, 90th minute goal, and just like you said, that could have a knock-on effect going into the second game, Sater. You know, if he had kept it even a 3-0, you know, kept them out in the second half, you're thinking, okay, we go again. However, you know, that fourth goal really could be a kick to the teeth for Luciano.
Yeah, falling to the wayside, as I said before, and that fourth goal really does put a marker down for how they want to play that second leg. But going for that last attack, might just go for the cross. Does manage to get himself a corner here, I believe. It did come off that defender in the end, so might just go to the usual. Nice little short pass. Won't get it into the box, and it will get played out. That will be the first leg, and dominance on dominance from Finn Harps. 3-0 is something we've seen before, but the fourth, maybe even the fifth, if he had landed that other one, it's very scary.
Yeah, and like we said, you know, I think 4-0 is a fair scoreline. I don't think anyone can really argue with that. I think, you know, Luciano would be quite disappointed with a couple of the chances that he had. He had that chip, which, you know, just didn't have enough juice on it. He had a couple of 1v1s as well. But it is warning signs as well for Tofino. You know, this second game, even though he's just won 4-0, it's not going to be easy. You know, he still had to defend. And, you know, it's very easy to get complacent in a game like FIFA when you've won the first game, or, you know, you've had a good result the game before. You know, the great thing about FIFA is that it's always different. Every game is different, right? And you're playing at a level right now where these players, you know, if they don't perform in one game, it does not in any way, shape, or form mean that they will not perform in the next one. You know, we've seen it with Duffy. The second game was so much better than the first game. Had he played like that in the first game, we could be looking at a different kind of scoreline. Although Emerald was, for me, deserved winner. He was absolutely fantastic. But it does sometimes take you a game, or, you know, at least a half to kind of get warmed up, get into it. So it's going to be interesting. But listen, Tofino, he's going to be very, very confident going into this second game.
Yeah, and this game is definitely not being played in Ireland. Look at that sun shining through. Do you remember the days when you were playing football and the keeper used to have to wear a hat?
Nope.
Oh, you didn't
Never
have
in
that?
Ireland.
No.
Never in Ireland.
We had a summer tournament one year at the FAI, and the keeper had to wear the sun hat because the sun was so low in Ireland. He was just getting blinded every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So I had to get the cap out, and the referee was screaming bloody murder about it, and then he made him wear it himself to explain it. Brilliant scenes back in the day, but that is definitely not in Ireland. Look at that sun. That has to be blinding that keeper. That could open up an opportunity if FIFA's put that in. That could be a banger.
What, with the hat? Oh, absolutely. Well, there actually is a card in FIFA. Yeshin, he's a icon in Ultimate Team, and his prime actually has the Peaky Blinders hat, so to speak. In game, he actually wears the hat as well.
Oh,
so
nice.
It's it's fantastic. It's a fantastic feature. Very, very nice touch from them. But yeah, you know, and I'm power shot, a new feature. Brought into FIFA 23 is a power shot. L1 and R1 on the controller, and you power up the shot, and it gives a rocket of a shot. Green time it, and it is very, very useful. The problem is it takes so long for you to actually get the shot away. You have to be in quite a lot of space. But yeah, very nice to see the different types of mechanics being used here. You know, we've seen Travellas, we're seeing the cutbacks, we're seeing the power shot as well, with another chance there for Tofino, and he's starting on the front foot again, Sater, and it looks like he just wants to get the business done again in this game.
Yeah, it's really, this is the thing I always like to talk about, is putting your mark down early and showing how you want to play the game. And Finn Harps, they're looking to get those goals early, start racking up a nice lead, but that could have been scary if that clearance didn't go the way they wanted it. But they're strong on the attack, and once they get in, they really put the pressure down. The yellow card isn't going to slow him down. He was nearly in there, and Finn Harps, they're looking at the groups, they weren't the strongest team coming into this, and Luciano might have had the edge overall, but it's looking very one-sided, and it looks scary. Luciano getting an opportunity there, though. That's what we like to see. A bit of a change of pace from him and holding his own now in the second leg.
Absolutely. He'll take confidence from that attack 100%. And he looks like he means business with the short corner played into the area. Green timed into the far corner. Fantastic start from Luciano. And this is the player that we knew he was. And he is showing it now. 1-0. Can he grow with this now? And it looks like he's coming down the edge again. Good defending. Fantastic tackle. Had to make that tackle. Could sometimes end up in a penalty, of course, but they're the tackles you have to make if you can find space again. He's gone for the low driven. Again, a massive feature this year. You know, the low driven is just when you barely tap the shoot button, which is B on PS or B on Xbox or circle on PS, and it gives a very low driven shot into the corner most of the time. Very, very effective from close range. And we've seen it there, and I'm surprised it didn't go in. It was fantastically worked move, and we are really seeing Luciano come out here from the off and really set the standards here, Sayer.
It's the warm-up. It's the first leg. Don't worry about it. We'll come back in the second. Just wipe it off, and really doing a great job opening it up, but needs to get that defense shored up. Needs to be collecting those balls when they're cleared as well. Don't want to be giving Finn Harps any space, and that's the kind of defense we're looking for. Immediate, just taking that ball away, trying to find something, but that's a weak one to intercept.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's going to be detrimental. We've seen in the first game, I pointed out that, you know, Tofino is, as he loves winning the ball high up the pitch. And if you look at his play, if you look at the cursor over his players, look, see that? See the way he's come in and he's nicked that ball? You know, that's not by chance. That is him being extremely quick on the sticks. And what I mean by that is that you can change players with your right stick. And that's the difference between changing with your L1 or your right stick. And that sometimes could be the difference between winning the ball high up the pitch. He's taking manual control of changing his players. He's bringing his midfield up higher to press. And he's stealing the ball high up the pitch. And that's where you're going to get your goal scoring opportunities from. So that is a skill. It's not by chance. It's not custom tactics. It's all down to the player. And that's where you have to give credit where credit is due. So massive kudos to him. He seems like he's absolutely mastered it, winning the ball high up the pitch quite often. So but look, Tofino, I don't think he's going to worry. You know, he scored 4 goals in the last game. He hasn't really been able to set a marker in this game, and that's a credit to Luciano as well. He seems to have shored up that defense a little bit, covering the runners, but it certainly sets us up for a very, very enticing second game here, Sayer.
Yeah, this second leg is already looking a lot more competitive, and we'd like to see Luciano come out into this and start to play around a little bit and get those opportunities and take them, more importantly. But Finn Harps, as you're talking about the kind of stick swapping and getting onto the right players, you can see from the triangles, which is something that is amazing for us to be able to see, is that whenever you see the ball in Luciano's hands, he's swapping to the player that he expects the direction of the next pass. He's moving towards the next pass before Luciano even knows what pass he's going to go for. He's moving players into positions to cut off those angles, and it's absolutely exceptional ball.
And there we see it. That is the infamous German ball where you set someone off on a run, you cross it, and your defense is completely bewildered. It's like an AI mechanic that is so difficult to defend against. Maybe a little bit lucky that the initial shot was saved and it bounced right back to him, but take nothing away. That is a calculated move, Sayer, and it is very difficult to master that move as well. So hats off to him. And again, look, I said it before the game, just because that first game was 4-0 does not mean that it is going to be anything like the same. And we're seeing it right here. This is the proof right here. And listen, Tofino's going to have to bounce back from this. We're seeing a different type of mentality from Tofino now. Is he going to be able to show the mentality of coming back as well as being ahead as well? And that's just offside. But he's going to need to answer back very soon.
Yeah, I like the way you call it a German ball, because it's very reminiscent of Mesut Ozil for me. Is that just the ball just kind of drops at the feet of a striker on the run, and a second yellow.
Wow.
Ooh.
I don't know where that's from.
We see some changes coming through immediately. Yeah, that was...
I feel like Cammy, have I missed something? What? Did he jumped in? He jumped in from the free kick. Do you know what? I've just rewatched it, and that is not even a foul. That's very harsh.
It's very soft.
Sometimes it does this. Sometimes the game does this. Do you know what he's done? There's something that they brought in this year called a power tackle. So you hold R1 and you press square and it power tackles. He's actually won the ball, but because of the mechanics, he's got the man as well. And just like in real life, sometimes you win the ball, you follow through, you get the man. and it's deemed as dangerous foul play, so or reckless endangerment, and it does seem like he's just got done with that. Maybe a little frustration coming through from Tofino's side of things there, Sater. I don't know, but that is a little bit harsh. It looks like he got the ball, and you know, again, that's a game-changing moment going down to 10 men. Now he doesn't have that outlet probably up front. He's going to be playing with one up front, and it's going to be a lot harder for him to find cracks in the armor of Luciano here. So very interesting first half in this second affair.
Yeah, that was a very, very soft tackle to be given a second yellow for. The referee had absolutely no empathy there towards that situation, but dangerous football is dangerous football. Whether it's virtual or not, we do have to give the correct cards for the correct situations, and the first yellow was definitely deserved. The second one, a bit soft, but at the end of the day, it is up to the AI, and we can't change much. But going down to 10 men, being down 2 goals as well, very dangerous situation.
Absolutely, and he's going to need a reaction here. You know, even if he gets a couple back, there's still going to be in the back of his mind that he's lacking in that attacking power as well. It does seem like he's actually, it looks like he's sacrificed one of his midfielders for a striker, which I don't mind here because he needs a goal. You know, he needs 2 up front. He's got nothing to lose. He's 2-0 down. And sometimes that midfield is able to deal with the overriding of midfielders running forward anyway. So I don't really mind it. It looks like he's going with the 2 up front. And maybe it is the 1 up front. Maybe he just brought him up there. I'm not so sure. We'll see in a minute. But yeah, you know, I mean, as well as that, we spoke about the mechanics of the constant press as well. When you're down to 10 men, the constant press really does make it feel like it's not an issue. It feels like you have extra men on the pitch anyway. So it would be interesting to see how long it takes before Tofino decides to go constant press and go all out, because he needs to get back in this game. Simple as. Yeah,
well, with the 4-0 lead, he still has that other advantage there, and it will take some solace in that. And I think maybe just picking up 1 or 2 goals, trying to get it even to an even play state, that might work out in his favor. But yeah, there is that underlying that you looked so good in the first leg, we expected to see the same in the second leg, and it just hasn't been landing. Maybe Luciano just did get warmed up and is looking very warm right now, just sitting outside that box. A few skill moves, does manage to pick the ball back up more importantly, but that defense is getting more and more solid, and even with that man down, they're still finding some avenues of play.
Absolutely, and we're seeing the attack down the right here now. It is a case of you're gonna have to try and get back in it. As the words come out of my mouth, Timlin for Finn Harps and for Tofino gets himself back in the game, and now it is game on. Down to 10 men, but certainly not out of this game. 2-1, game on.
Yeah, the tactics have to come true here now. The play, that's exactly what we needed.
Wow.
Luciano.
We like to call that in the industry a kickoff goal, Sater, and unfortunately it's a part of the game. Everybody knows about it. It's kind of like the momentum goal of a 45th or 90th minute goal as well. You know, you see it very often. It does seem as though sometimes the AI defenders defending when from kickoff, they don't react like they normally would, kind of in mid-game, and it does make you susceptible to conceding the goal right at the start of the game. And unfortunately, that's what we see here. Just after getting a little bit of momentum, it's a sucker punch, and yeah, we're back to a 2-goal lead for Luciano. But that won't, you know, I don't think it'll phase Tofino too much. He's doing some good stuff here, working the ball in and around the box, trying to get an opening. But again, like you said, Luciano's defending has been on point this game. I have to say, he's been very impressive. You would not be looking at this game saying he conceded 4 goals in the last game. You know, it's been a contrast of a performance compared to the last game. So fair play to him. He's kept his head and he's got his mentality right. But it's definitely not over here.
Yeah, it's not over yet, and we have to keep an eye on it. Luciano can't stop the press now, can't get the foot off that pedal, needs to keep going and keep picking up goals, and because it's 5-3 currently, we have to remember that in the back of our mind. It is 5-3, so we need to see at least a couple more coming out from Luciano, and he's got an opportunity here, especially with the man down as well. We can't forget about that red card coming through. It's really going to change things. So I've all eyes on Luciano to open it up. He's finding some good space. He's in the middle, some skill moves, breaks his man.
Lovely.
Oh,
Ooh, gone for the near post Travella after some great work to create the space there. And, you know, we're seeing the ball rolls. We're seeing the step overs. Very effective this year. The little step over gives you a little bit of a boost in pace when you use the step over this year. And it's almost like glitchy. You know, I know from using Mbappe and stuff on Ultimate Team, you use it with him and he just can't be caught. So some good intricate skill there around the area, trying to find that space. Corner kick. But maybe could have went far post there with a finesse, but I know it's not the go-to anymore in FIFA. You know, it's not as effective as what it used to be, and so I don't really mind the shot choice there. But yeah, again, like you said, you know, Luciano really has to pile on the pressure here. 18 FIFA minutes to go, and if he can get another goal pretty soon, he'll fancy his chances 100%, which he could get here. Great block. Good play. And like you said before, I just want to come back to the point, the corners. You said you love headed goals, you love the crosses and corners, you know, something you don't see anymore. You know, corners at the start of this game, there was a little glitch where you could kick it full power into the box and you'd score every header, and it was kind of fun, but at the same time very, very annoying when you could see that you knew it was happening, you couldn't stop it, so they patched it, rightly so. But since then, you know, you're not seeing crosses, you're not seeing corners, you're seeing people take it short and try and do some work around the edge, work it into the area and find some space. And you know, it's a very hard thing to master. It really is. So it's when you see players take corners and work it into the area and score, you know, you have to take your hats off to him, because it's not easy. But again, Luciano completely on top here, just cannot find a way through the middle of that defense. Very stubborn defense at the minute from Tofino, and it's going to be hard to see him score a couple of more goals here, I can't lie. Yeah, it does manage to collect that one. The defender was thinking about driving that one into the stands, but didn't in the end. And there was another glitch that I saw, it wasn't during this tournament, it was a little bit before that, that if you got a volley outside the box with a power shot, you could just put it into the top corner no matter what. Has that been fixed, or is that still there? No, that's still there. The best man to talk about that is the Gareth Show. Of course, he's a part of the E-League of Ireland as well, and he's the master at it. I've seen him do it time and time again. You just flick it up and you do the power shot. It flies into the top corner, and it's not guaranteed to go in every single time, but it is one of those shots where you know if you connect with it sweetly, if you get it at the sweet spot at the right time in the right angle, it is going in. And depending on what traits your players have, also finesse shot again from the edge. See, that's why you don't see them being used that often, Sater. You know, they just don't have the same velocity as what they used to have. The same kind of venom in the shot anymore. I remember back in the day, Man United, noodle hair Ronaldo outside the box every time. Yeah, every time. Yeah, every single time from a certain angle. And this year it's just not the same. Gone for a green time there, a little bit mistimed, but it was near post anyway. And as this game fizzles out, you're just thinking Tofino will just kind of hang on to this 3-1 with 10 men is not the worst result. You know, it doesn't better his 4-0 in the first leg, and could get a goal here. However, there wasn't anyone in the box, and that would be the obviously the big downfall to being down to 10 men, is that you just don't have the players going forward anymore, you know. And that's going to be it by the looks of it. Maybe a goal to end, and it is. It is Tofino finishes stronger. 90th minute goal, which we see again, Sater. You know, another goal in the 90th minute, just like that. It's very common. It happens. And, you know, Luciano would be very disappointed to concede that. But again, second game, I don't think he can be ashamed of himself. He gave it a go. He absolutely, you know, he rattled them in the first half, 2-0. 2 goals, and then of course Tofino going down to 10 men, probably shut up shop a little bit. Sometimes going down to 10 men as an opponent, you actually don't like to see it too much, because it means that their tactics aren't going to be as open. They're going to sit back, they're going to be defensive maybe, and it can actually be detrimental to you playing against them sometimes, you know. It can be harder to break them down. So but all in all, great games. You know, we've seen 9 goals overall over 2 legs, and exactly what we expected, you know. Very, very high level competition, and fair play to both competitors. Really, really entertaining. Yeah, absolutely brilliant from both, and it was a great game overall. And we had 2 great games, and yeah, we have a lot to look forward to when it comes to these playoffs. And is there anyone standing out to you in particular from today's showings that could be a kind of the powerhouse in those playoffs, because we're getting very close to it now? You know, Emerald was very, very impressive, and there's a reason why he's top of that group, you know. I feel like we didn't see the best of Emerald today, because I feel like he didn't have to be at the top of his game, and I feel like he knew that, especially in the second leg. I feel like there was a little bit of a you know, not as kind of on point, and there wasn't any sort of him worrying. So and for me, the best of the best, they're always tested when they play against the best of the best, and their mentality is at the top, and they have to be on point. So, but for me, Emerald was definitely the standout performer today. I think that a player like it's Duffy, somebody who I know and have played against. I know the standard of this guy. I know how good he can play, and Emerald didn't seem all in all too troubled by Duffy's play today, and that's nothing to go against Duffy. I just feel like that's a credit to the Emerald. So again, like I said, there's a reason why he's top of the group. It's a reason why he's up there, and yeah, he was fantastic. So fair play to him. But I thought all four were incredible, honestly. High level of FIFA being played here, and it's just a privilege to be a part of it and to watch these guys perform.
Yeah, thank you again to everyone in the background that has made this happen as well, especially FAI and everyone else doing it behind the scenes. A lot of thanks goes out to them, and that is all from us this week. We will be back next Tuesday once again with some more great games. Thanks so much for joining us, Campion. It was a pleasure to have you on, and we'll see y'all soon. Have a good one.
Yeah, see you later.